McEnroe here to talk to
Okay.
you. guys can stand up.
Okay, no problem.
Sit down, help yourself. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Tom.
Nice job today.
Shoot, go for it.
Okay.
So Novak has had an incredible year, John. You on there?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Where do you figure it in terms of the all-time seasons? You
Well, I mean,
obviously
he's not finished yet, but I suppose that if he won the Masters, you'd have to put it at the top, right there at the top. But of course, I would never do anything to take anything away from Rod Laver. I mean, he won slams twice, but obviously, I'm not exactly sure how many tournaments he played in '69. What his record was, to be honest. So. I know he won the Slam twice. I don't know his exact record. I'm more familiar with the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So certainly the last 30, I think he would top mine, and slightly better than Rogers even.
And top years, you had a higher winning percentage, but
Second thought, he didn't top mine.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about this player talks strike or union or whatever that's been going on since the U.S. Open?
I really haven't seen much about that, to be honest. I mean, I've seen a little grumbling. I haven't seen anyone talking about something like that, but we'll see what happens. See if anything happens, much less a strike. I mean, I'd be surprised if anything happens. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see some changes.
What changes would you like to see? The top players get about the same as the very top golfers, but after that they dip down. What changes do you want to see?
Well, I mean, I don't think we have enough time, but certainly things that I've talked about: scheduling, Davis Cup scheduling, the semi-finals and finals at the Open, the Saturday, Sunday. I think we should be in a partnership with the majors at the majors. With revenue sharing. We get far fewer percentage than even, they're trying to drop the basketball players to 50, and the basketball players are saying no, and let's assume it was 50-50, we're getting about 15, so that's pretty one-sided against us. So even though we're doing a lot better than we used to be, we're still far from where we should be.
But to be devil's advocate, there's such a huge amount of endorsement money, XO money, and so forth. There's still a need in that area in terms of income and revenue.
Well, I mean,
you're the one who said teachers.
That's an entirely different issue. But if people are going to be making the money, like for example, like the All England Club, it seems like the players should be more involved in the profits, or there's a lot of things. I mean, we don't have enough time to get into it. But I mean, if I were sort of running the players thing, I think we should be part of having the library of matches. Shouldn't be owned by someone else. And we could use that money to put into a pension plan. So there are players that didn't get it would be better taken care of. I mean, there's a lot of things. Scheduling too. I think the schedule needs to be changed. So, but that's really up to the top players ultimately. What happens there, if anything.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the just on
I'm
the.
sorry. I'm just here. Let me move that because you. Go ahead. I'm just a little stretching.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
On the international stage, we haven't seen a lot of greatness from the American men as a group for a long time. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that there's a combination of reasons, and if anyone really knew the answer, we've already done something to change it. So it's the best athletes in some other countries are going into tennis, whereas here they're going into other sports. That's one for starters. The game is very expensive to play, so that's a problem. There's a question if we're as hungry at times as some of the other places. So that's all these things work together. I mean, some of it's cyclical. I mean, we're sort of in a stage where I think we have some excellent players, but we don't have people winning majors. So we have guys that are having career years, and top 10 in the world is pretty good for most countries, but we've spoiled. So we want to see people winning events.
What do you think about an event like this where you're traveling across the country playing with some of the greats?
Well, it's sort of a no-lose for me. I mean, it's not easy, obviously, because I'm playing against guys that are quite a bit younger than I am that have incredible credentials. So the good part is the format suits me, so that one set, sort of a crapshoot, so that could help potentially. I haven't played for a couple months, so that definitely makes life more difficult. But I'm happy to be part of it. Obviously, I mean, never thought of being playing a place like this again.
Last night you faced Pete Serve. What's the best stroke you've ever faced in your career?
Pete Serve.
And what's so wonderful about it? It's just a classic stroke, but can you break it down in a
Well,
moment?
it's not just how hard he hits; it's how well he places it, and he believes in. He goes for it. He just got the guts to go for it even on second serves, which most people don't. Almost anyone, and get it in. And then he backs it up with some great athleticism as well as some, one of the best volleyers that ever played. So, to me, he's the toughest serve that I've ever had to deal with.
So how do you guys feel physically coming from Seattle?
Well, I mean, I feel fine physically as far as coming from Seattle. My thing is I've been out for 2 months, and so I'm trying to work my way back from injury. That's what, for me, where I'm at. When you come back, you sort of, it becomes as much mental as physical. I'm not used to being out there and having to deal with Pete Sampras' serve or Andre Agassi's return. You don't get that at my tennis academy a whole lot. So I knew it would be a challenge even if I was 100% ready or 120%, that it would be difficult to win any of those matches. So hopefully I can hold my own and play well and hit some shots, but I don't have any expectations other than wanting to be able to get back to sort of feeling like I can move as well as I did before their injury, and I'm getting there. I mean, I'm feeling much better, but it takes a while.
What is your injury?
I have a hamstring tear.
When you're not on the circuit, what do you do day to day?
Day to day, well, I have a tennis academy. That's probably taking the most time right now. I have 2 of my 6 kids are still living with me and at home, and take them to school. So that's how I start the day. And then I like to work out, get a workout in the morning if I can, as much as possible, and go to the academy. And I'm an art and music lover, so the other parts of the day I love that. Playing, trying to be ready to play if I was given the opportunity. I mean, you have to train awfully hard, even though I could lay an egg. You got to go in with the attitude. You got to train as hard as possible to try to deal with someone like Agassi or Sampras. So I like to get out there, though. Actually, I like playing with the kids in a way more than ever. So that's pretty much the day right there.
Do you think this court surface helps your game against these guys? It seems
I think it helps.
just laid on
Yeah, it
hard
helps.
floors.
Well, it helps. Well, I think there's a little wood underneath, but either way, it helps my game, but it also helps their game. Pete likes playing on this court. All these guys do. I mean, Andre, to me, until Djokovic this year, was the greatest returner that ever lived. So he's certainly still one of the greatest. Top, if you put Djokovic above him or that league, that's the top couple guys with Connors.
So do you think that the court surfaces now on the tour are too slow, perhaps?
Well, I mean, sometimes they have them slow and then they switch them and then they complain they're too fast. Depends who you ask. Slow court players like it slow, then the fast court players like it faster. And they said Wimbledon's too slow, the French is too fast, Open's too slow, last year was too fast. So it's always on. Something's always wrong.
What do you think about?
2 more. How's it decided which players play in which city? Wouldn't you like to play Borg or Connors to renew that old rivalry?
Yeah, well, that would be have a better shot at a win. But that's really, you have to ask sort of the people in charge, like Jim Courier's group. But the plan next week is that very thing. It's with Bjorn, and we're supposed to have a couple dates next week, along with, I think, Andre and Jim, and maybe Michael and Jim. I'm not sure the exact 4. I think it's Michael and Jim, Andre and Jim, me and Bjorn and a couple. So, yeah, that's sort of the idea, to mix in a bit of the old and the very old.
We have the media.
Their passion for your game, the passion for points, passion for interacting with Welsh would be well received in today's game. And are we missing those type of personalities?
Well, it's too late now, so you can look at me as either a well-liked or sort of a dinosaur, because now they have the challenge system, and I think that they sort of tightened the rules too much, and now they realize that they did that, and then they sort of want to make sure people express themselves. But there's other ways to express yourself besides yelling at an umpire. Connors, me, and Mistazzi, we maxed out on that. Now they can do some other stuff.
We have all the media around here now. You are in the media. What is your thoughts on the role?
Easy now. Don't throw me in with you guys.
Oh, we want you. But what are your thoughts, John, on the role that the media does in the world of tennis? Strong enough, good enough, not?
That's a fair question. I can't give you a good answer other than that more people I respect the people that are living and breathing it, Some people only come out once a year, one day a year, 1 week, one tournament. You got to say, well, it's better than nothing. I used to have more people around more full time, but that's up to all of us, not just the media. There's a lot of people that got to do a lot more things. So I'm hopeful that we're sort of thinking out of the box and hopefully getting the sport back to the sort of level it belongs to. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.